Hey everybody, it's Matt. Taking a look today at the Garmin Drivecam 76, which is now available at Best Buy and online at bestbuy.ca. It's a 7-inch GPS nav with a built-in dash cam, just a front dash cam this time around, but it films at 1080p, 30 frames a second. There's a micro SD card included, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth capabilities. Looks like it's compatible with the Garmin Drive app. The last Garmin GPS I did was really exciting. I thought it was really well done. So I'm just going to plug in my Ray-Ban glasses, the same one that I reviewed a couple months ago, to try and do a hands-free unboxing here. All right, unboxing. So this is the unit itself. It's not very heavy, but it's pretty big, as you can see. And then we've got power hookups here. Looks like there's a wiring kit here to a USB. And the mount here is really interesting because this looks like it's a suction cup mount to me. You know my thoughts on suction cup mounts if you've read my previous reviews. I'm not the biggest fan, so I am really interested in understanding how this is going to work. It's a really large suction area though, so I'm not too concerned. The one thing that I will say is that during this review, it's probably going to sit a little bit lower than the most ideal spot, and that's just because I have an existing dash cam mount on my vehicle that might affect the placement. So I'm going to go install it now, and we're going to start driving. You'll have to plug the dash cam in for about 10 minutes to charge it before it comes to life, but then you enter full setup mode. I'd recommend just hooking it up to the wall to hook it up to Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, and run all the necessary updates, because it'll take about 4 hours since there's a newer map pack out there. The 16 gig micro SD card should get you about 2 hours of drive time footage, and you can expand up to 256 gigs if need be. There's a second micro SD slot around the back of the camera, but it's for extra maps and data. The internal storage is about 15 gigs on its own, but you'll need to get a card to accommodate any international maps while traveling abroad, since the storage will be nearly full once you update. After that, it's plug and play. It'll automatically start recording every time you turn the vehicle on. Take a few minutes to set up and set up properly. You'll choose your vehicle and where you've placed the dash cam itself, and play around with this one a little bit if you're in a passenger sedan and find the right place. Let's cut to me talking about my initial difficulties. All right, so I've been driving around with this for a couple days now, and some thoughts. This is the second place that I've mounted this on my windshield. By the way, the suction cup mount, not an issue at all. But I'm having a hard time trying to figure out where's the best place to put this, and it's just because of the sheer size of the screen. The screen is 7 inches. As you can see, it takes up a lot of room. So when I'm turning right, for example, sometimes it's hard to see the heads of the people crossing crosswalks and things like that. So I'm still working through that and still trying to figure out how best to place this and how best to utilize the space on my windshield with it. Navigational wise, as you can see, it comes with satellite navigation GPS. So we are going to type in my current destination here. So I'm heading to, well, actually it's pretty populated there. It's going to give me a calculation here, gives me a TripAdvisor rating. This is like deja vu for me though, because this is like deja vu for me right now, because this reminds me a lot of the old Garmin GPS that I had 15 years ago. Still very similar interface, so I kind of know what I'm getting here, and it works exactly just like it did all those years ago. I ended up finding my ultimate happy place the next day, just center of right, which you'll see in my next view inside the car in a minute. So the front interface defaults to GPS, but you can use it as a live drive viewer like you'd expect out of normal dash cams with a screen. It's a full touchscreen as you saw, and it has the perfect amount of sensitivity, so that's super helpful. Once connected to your phone, it can also take your calls, deal with your contacts, and display music on screen. This unit basically reminds me of full in-dash navigation systems you'd see in today's vehicles, just a little bit more versatile, of course, and capable of being taken in and out of any vehicle. So that's kind of cool. The audio and video custom settings, a little limited. You get 1080p at 30 frames per second in preset continuous loops. You don't get to choose the recording lengths, but you can choose to downscale to 720p if you want, and you can also toggle the audio on and off. Okay, so I've just left work, and I'm on my way to pick my daughter up.
Turn right on Canada Way, then take the second right.
I think I've now found the right place to put this. As you can see, it's a little bit off to the right, tilted to me. I can tilt the dash cam so that it faces straight ahead, What's really interesting to me, though, is that the GPS is telling me that it's going to take me about 22 minutes to get out to where I'm going. And nope, it's now been updated to 31 minutes. Okay, so it took a little while to find that. I was going to say there's an accident on my route, which is causing traffic to slow down, and I was waiting to see if the GPS picked that up, and it did. Had to shut off for a second because these glasses only film for about 60 seconds at a time. Now, as you can see, it's telling me that there's an 18-minute delay, which I actually really appreciate. I think this is really good because, I mean, I'm not sure where, but I am being told that my route's going to be 18 minutes slower than usual. So it kind of gives me that heads up, and I can prepare in advance. And it'll probably, it looks like it's telling me I can save 5 minutes using a different route as well. So maybe I'll check that out. But really helpful with the GPS, really good real-time updates. If you want to watch your footage back, you can do it direct from camera or by plugging into a PC or on the Garmin Drive app. My previous Garmin Dashcam reviews have made the Drive app a mandatory download, but I kind of feel like you might be able to get away with using it a little bit less here. I didn't rely on it as much for traffic updates and things because, to be honest with you, the device and the GPS itself, they did just fine for me. So the GPS on this device is great. Satellites acquire lightning fast when you're out in the open, and as you saw, if you have a destination keyed, you get real-time ride time updates too. By the way, this also comes with a red light camera, so you'll have to consider whether or not to deactivate that if that's illegal in your province. One thing I absolutely didn't like, though, is the ADAS system. It's a little bit too sensitive, even on the lowest setting. Forward collision and lane departure notices default on after you're driving more than 65 kilometers per hour, and they buzz like crazy to the point of madness where they're absolutely not necessary in my opinion. I had it on the lowest setting, and even then I felt like it was too much. There's also a traffic moving chime if you're at a red light or in bumper-to-bumper traffic, again, which I didn't really consider to be as necessary, unless you're really distracted while you're driving. I mean, I'm on the fence about whether you should just turn these off, but then you're doing away with a safety feature that truthfully was provided in good faith and you might need one day. Aside from the little challenges I had finding a happy place to mount the camera, I do also have to say that there are a couple little things to say about the camera itself. What I will say is that it does night footage better than I expected, which was an absolute surprise. It's a little blurry at times around the sides and things because it doesn't have some of the night vision capabilities that other cameras have, but it's not bad. That said, the camera can be a little bit more jittery than most, and it's pretty evident when you're driving a little faster. There's a higher than average price tag attached to this because it's got a full-blown GPS and a full-blown dash cam, so it definitely deserves the higher retail price, but I was hoping for a little bit more customization at this price point. Maybe the ability to film at 60 frames a second, maybe the ability to add a rear camera, even at an additional cost to the user. Honestly, a rear camera capability would have made this a must-recommend for me, even with my little gripes about the ADAS and things here and there. But it does dash cam well, it does GPS really well, but there are a few things I feel like it could have done a little bit better. So at the end of the day, I don't know whether I recommend this as a slam dunk or not. On one hand, there's a lot of really good features in this. I think the GPS is great, the GPS and dash cam together, great combo. But as you saw, I wasn't really a big fan of things like the forward collision warnings. The ADAS is a little bit too sensitive. And of course, driving a passenger sedan most of the time, I felt like the screen size was a little bit too big, but that was, I worked around that by putting it in a couple different places until I found the perfect spot. So I am just going to say, have a read of the review, take a look at the video as well, and see for yourself if this is the right model for you. This is the Garmin Drivecam 76, now available at Best Buy and online at bestbuy.ca. Thanks for watching this review. My name is Matt. Please subscribe to the channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you next time.